If you're looking to explore London this summer, join me on this epic walking tour. Starting from the luxury of Knightsbridge through to the scenic beauty of Hyde Park, the shopping buzz of Oxford Street, all the way to the eclectic vibe of Piccadilly Circus. This is London, unfiltered, unforgettable, and all on foot. So let's go. Hello guys, so welcome back to Sabril on the Move, and I'm buzzing for this particular walking tour because we're going to explore London. And to be fair with you, this part of London is absolutely amazing because you get to see the richness of all the shopping and spending through to the everyday life of London as you go through from Knightsbridge all the way to Piccadilly Circus. But right behind me is our first stop of our walking tour, and that is Harrods. So Harrods opened in 1849. It has over around 300 department stores inside, so a lot of stuff you can buy, but I mean, you need richness in money. You don't want to open up your wallets and see butterflies flying out, because that's the worst thing. Because this place here, you can buy things from as cheap as £5 all the way to millions. So you need to have the money, you need to be rich, but I'll show you inside what Harrods is truly like. So we're walking inside of Harrods right now. Let's get our first glimpse. Already you can see expensive stuff. Do you reckon I could find anything in my price range? So I'm in the food section, and it's a bunch of chocolates around me. Really nice chocolates. I mean, how much are they? Let's find out. So I'm seeing some as cheap as £10, £17, £28. You can get big blocks of chocolate as well. Ooh, £2.90. So within the price range, I guess. But this is the stuff you can, pretty much anyone can pop in and buy. I will show you the more expensive stuff as we go upstairs. Interesting that they have a butcher's in Harrods as well. So you usually have a lot of celebrities coming here to buy some really expensive items for their homes. So we're just going upstairs just to see some of the items that are often on sale here at Harrods. But so far it's been things that perhaps I can afford with a pinch of salt. Maybe there will be things that I will definitely see that are way beyond my budget. Oh, look at that. You want to know what the price of that rug is? £17,510 for a rug. Yeah, okay. So this is the walk just from outside Harrods, and as you can see, those buildings there, those are, I believe, the One Hyde Park residence. And in fact, some of the homes and penthouses that are there range from anything between 5 million all the way up to 200 million pounds in valuation. So if you can afford one of those, great. Why is it so expensive? Well, it is in the literally right on Hyde Park itself. So the view, the landscape view, will be sensational for whoever has ownership of those. Very expensive. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff around here. I mean, just outside, when you walk outside Harrods, so it's not just Harrods itself. There's obviously another variety of other retail shops that you can explore. So just underneath One Hyde Park, and just to get to Hyde Park itself, we will walk across the Serpentine Walk. The Serpentine Walk is actually a very beautiful walk. Just takes us right behind, in front of Hyde Park itself. You can see just behind that walk there. And obviously One Hyde Park is literally, we're right under it. It's a very beautiful walk, this. And in my line of sight is Hyde Park. What an amazing view just behind me. This is a must-visit place, and in fact just right next to me is the Serpentine Bar and Kitchen, so you'll be able to take a bit of a break, rest, relax, enjoy a bit of a food and whatever it is you want to drink. I say give it a try as you're sort of walking through London. So as we continue our walk through Hyde Park, just an interesting fact that this is the size of Hyde Park is around 350 acres or so, and this in the 1500s was actually a hunting ground for King Henry VIII. Well, that's some interesting facts there for you. So used to come here hunting for animals, food. What did he hunt for specifically? But yeah, interesting. I mean, Hyde Park is one of the biggest parks in London, so it does take a fair bit to sort of walk through it. But we'll be heading towards Marble Arch. So Marble Arch actually connects Hyde Park with Oxford Circus, or Oxford Street. And Oxford Street is obviously where all everyday people go to shop. Unlike Harrods, where you need a lot of money, we're going to just see the traditional everyday shopping through Oxford Street. See some very interesting stuff as you walk through. I mean, who is this Prince Charming right here? So this is actually the cavalry of the Empire. So these are all the names of people or different cavalries who have given up their lives during the First and Second World Wars. There are a lot of pathways here in Hyde Park. As I say, it's so big. But what's fascinating is that you get to see nature at its best, whether it's everyday pigeons who are pecking away at bread that's been given by people who are visiting the park, which, by the way, you're not meant to do, because there's clear instructions saying you shouldn't do that. But also just other animals, whether you see squirrels and raccoons, whatever it is, you see them and it's just like, whoa, okay, I want a quick glimpse of that, I want to catch it on camera, but I just can't because they're so quick. But there are a lot of people here. I mean, they're all here for their own reasons, picnics, just enjoying, chilling. And on a nice summer's day like that, why not? It is absolutely perfect. So it should be another 10 more minutes walk through Hyde Park before we reach Marble Arch. So in my line of sight now, you can see is the Marble Arch. So as you can see, I've reached Marble Arch. So this was actually moved here in 1851. It used to be the entrance to Buckingham Palace. And in fact, only royals or the royal troops can go through it. Us peasants have to walk around it. Oh well. I'll walk around it indeed, and so that leads us straight on to Oxford Street, where we can do all our shopping. And I mean, if you've been to Harrods, which we've done this on this trip, and it's a little pricey, we do have a huge bunch of shopping places here on Oxford Street. It's literally the heartbeat of the shopping area in London, and there's also Selfridges there, which I'll show you, which you're able to pop in as well. You can see it's all gated up. I mean, I did try having a word with Charles, but he said no. So walk around it is what I did. So as we continue to explore London, as we're on Oxford Street, if you're just walking the street itself without popping into any shops, it'll probably take you around, let's say, half an hour to walk the length of the street. So it is quite lengthy, but the shops that you'll experience here are fascinating. You'll see things like, even right behind me, Wizards and Spells, which is dedicated to Harry Potter. So there is a bit of British culture that you will experience on the street itself. So worth having a sort of look, and then obviously the variety of stores. Now, the hustle and bustle of Oxford Street, in fact, it's the busiest shopping street in Europe. So take that into consideration when planning your walk down here, because it does get very busy, especially now during summer. But there is a lot to shop and a lot to experience. So bring bags of cash with you if you want to do a lot of shopping. So in my line of sight now, we're coming towards Selfridges. I'm standing right underneath Selfridges, and in fact Selfridges itself was opened in 1909, and it was the second largest department store in the world when it was opened in 1909, after Macy's, which is obviously in New York in Times Square. I've been to Macy's myself. Really nice place. But what tops it for me is Selfridges. So you want to pop inside. We're not going to go in today, just going to continue our walk because it's a lengthy walk. But worth having a pop into, especially if you are here to explore London and are on your London walking tour. You can see the crowds are so intense. I mean, this is probably the busiest part of Oxford Street, especially when we come towards Bond Street station there, which leads all the way to Oxford Street station. The crowds are intense. So you might need a bit of time to just walk through this segment. You'll notice a number of these stores that sell a lot of items that are souvenirs. They're nice to have, but quite pricey, especially here on Oxford Street. So in the hustle and bustle of Oxford Street, still a fair bit to go. There's a lot of people, just lots of people coming to shop. Everyone has their reasons, everyone has their different taste. But whenever I do come around here, I do pop into a few shops. Will I buy? It's always dependent on what bargains are around. I don't just pop into a shop and say, oh, I like that and I'm going to buy. That's just my nature. It's just how I was raised. I always like to look out for different things in different stores, even if they're similar priced, and try and find out which one is best. So I do a bit of bargain hunting. That's just me. Everyone has their own style. But I am getting a bit peckish. So before we go down Regent Street, which will be our next walking route after Oxford Street. So Regent Street connects, as we're walking further down Oxford Street, connects with Regent Street on the right hand side. So we will walk down Regent Street before it leads us to our final stop, which is Piccadilly Circus. But before we get onto Regent Street, I'm going to get myself a bite to eat. So we've almost reached Regent Street. So we're actually coming towards the central hub of Oxford Street, so Oxford Circus station, where literally it's a roundabout where all the roads are connected and people are able to walk in whichever direction they please. It's just the way the road has been designed. Down Regent Street, and in fact Regent Street was designed in the 1800s by a guy called John Nash, funny enough, and this is the guy who designed Buckingham Palace. So a lot of rich history just here on Regent Street, but it is a jam-packed street, as you can see around me. So people don't just go shopping in Oxford Street, they come here on Regent Street as well. In fact, it has some of the high-end brands here as well. So we will just see some of them, but we will also pop into Hamleys. In fact, with Hamleys just in my line of sight ahead there, it's actually the oldest toy store in the world. So we must pop into that to have a look. This will definitely make me feel like a kid again. I need to ask my mum for pocket money, popping into Hamleys. So I'm right underneath Hamleys. And you can see, there's a bear right there. Yes.
Hamley bear, let's go there. You got a camera.
Hey, there we go. Love is universal. Oh wow, look at that. It's a lot of fun and energy. Hey! World of Wizardry downstairs. Let's have a look. Wow, would you look at that? So which one is your favorite wand? It's actually been a long time since I last popped into Hamleys. I remember the last time I came here, I was actually doing karaoke with my brother. So we just grabbed the mic and started singing. I mean, that's the energy and buzz that Hamleys brings. I mean, look at this place. It's absolutely bloody brilliant. So if you're coming here to London and you want to experience a bit of energy, joy with your kids, oh, bring them to Hamleys. They will absolutely love it here. I mean, I'm in my mid-30s and I'm getting all the energy from this. Look at the smile. Oh my God, this used to be one of my favorite things growing up. So how amazing was that? Oh my God. Oh my God, it just literally brought my childhood back. That is an absolute must. If you're here in London, you have to visit Hamleys. You're not going to get the thrill and laughter and joy anywhere else other than in that store. I mean, the people, the staff, they're really friendly, really warm, energetic, and they share a lot of stories. I mean, we are continuing our walk down Regent Street. So it's a straight ahead walk and then we will reach Piccadilly Circus. So it'll be a good 10 minutes walk before we reach Piccadilly Circus itself. So let's continue. So you have lots of high-end stores here on Regent Street, but there are also mini malls as well, or department stores, which contain some really large brand names. I mean, when you think about it, Burberry, Armani, I mean, these are really, really big brands. So if you want to pop in on your walking tour, why not? Much as Regent Street is famous for its high-end retail, it's also very famous for its bend, and as you can see, we are just about to walk towards the bend. So it will take a curve around Regent Street, which is a really nice walk. This is Piccadilly Circus, first impressions. We are going to go further down. But there you can see those famous advertising boards. So I've reached the heart of Piccadilly Circus, which is right here. And as you can see around me, it is hustling and bustling with so many people. In fact, over 100 million people come here every year. It is the heart of the West End. I mean, it connects us with so many different theatres. In fact, just right just there. There's a couple of others just down that road over there. So, I mean, it's literally the heartbeat of London. So we started off our tour in Knightsbridge, visiting Harrods. We went through Hyde Park, across Marble Arch into Oxford Street, Regent Street, and now in Piccadilly Circus. And that brings to an end what was a wonderful, wonderful walking tour of London, helping you explore London by foot. Forget the tube, forget the underground, which is right behind me. If you want to really experience London, you have to do it by foot. On foot, where you're able to walk and see what London truly brings. The energy, you feel it, which you don't feel in the underground. You're cramped in. So I hope you enjoyed this video, because I absolutely enjoyed filming it. You got to see Harrods, you got to see Hamleys, and a few other things in between. But make sure you tune in for all my future videos that I'll be hosting here on Sabarul on the Move. Whether this is videos for London, England, or the rest of the world, make sure you tune in, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and also share my videos. See you there.